Good morning everyone. I am Lalita Mittal, PGT biology teacher in Delhi Public School Dhuri. We all very well know the saying, an apple a day keeps a doctor away. This saying is very well known because it keeps us away from various diseases and even the most common, the heart diseases. Today I will talk about the various types of cardiovascular diseases which are being prevalent in India today. The vital statistics of India, according to WHO, is that 2 million people die of these cardiac diseases in India every year, and 32% are from the age group of 35 to 44, which is the youth of India. And every minute, at least a person dies of heart ailment. The cardiovascular disease, it's a term described for any type of disease in the heart or in the blood vessels. Our blood vessels are the arteries and the veins. So the blood flows into the heart, into the brain and into the body. And this blood flows at a proper level or proper amount and proper rhythm. When there is a clot inside the blood vessels, at that time the flow of the blood into the various parts of the body get reduced. Not only that, because of some fatty deposits in the artery, also the blood flow reduces, and this is called the blood clot. When the blood clot is formed, it is called thrombosis. And when there are fatty deposits and the artery hardens and becomes narrower, then it is called atherosclerosis. So we will read about all that one by one. Some of the main types of cardiovascular diseases are the coronary heart disease, the stroke, peripheral arterial disease, and the aortic disease. I will talk some more, but these are the main ones. The coronary heart disease, it occurs when the flow of blood into the heart is blocked and reduced by build-up of fatty material into the coronary arteries. The coronary arteries are the ones which supply blood to the heart. They arise directly from the base of the aorta and supply fresh blood to the heart so that it can work properly. Now, if there is some amount of plaque deposition on the inside the lumen of the coronary artery, then the flow of blood will be restricted. Sometimes this plaque becomes so much that the blood flow stops and then it may cause heart attack. Okay, so we will now talk about that. So here I told you about the various it not only can cause heart attack but also it can cause angina. It's a chest pain. Okay, when at once there is pain in the artery or in the heart, in the chest part, that disease is called angina. So I will talk about them. First is, what is angina pectoris? This is a medical term for the chest pain that occurs due to insufficient supply of blood to the heart. It's also known as angina, and it's a warning signal for heart attack. The chest pain is at the intervals ranging from few seconds to minutes, and it may cause heart attack. So that is all due to deposition of fatty material, that is athera. Then we will talk about atherosclerosis. The word atherosclerosis, has a Greek origin and it means accumulation of lipids. So athera means accumulation of lipids, and thickening of the arterial intima, that is the lining of the artery thickens. Okay, the wall becomes more thick and hardened. That is called sclerosis. So this is an abnormal accumulation of lipids inside the artery wall, inside the arteries. So the flow of blood ceases or it becomes slow. It is progressive disease that develop over many years, and first of all what happens, fatty streaks are seen. Then formation of plaque occurs. Here you can see in the picture how fatty streaks are formed. Then formation of plaque occurs, and then development of complicated lesions. So these lesions are the ones which can cause any type of pain and heart attack also. Here this is the artery inside which lesions are formed and depositions are there. Then we will talk about stroke. It's a serious medical condition that occurs when the blood supply to the part of the brain is cut off, and that is due to the clot formation inside any part of the blood, or so that is a paralysis. You can say that it may lead to coma situation also. Okay, like all organs, the brain needs a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients to function. It is provided by the blood. So if the blood flow is restricted or stopped, the brain cells will begin to die, and this may cause possible deaths. So that a stroke is a supply of the blood decreases into the heart, into the brain. So how can we know that a person is suffering from stroke? We can see the sides of one side of the face may be drooping, okay, not able to speak from one side, that also can be. So face drooping, look uneven smile, then arms weaken. So you can lift whether you're both the arms properly or not, that also we can see. Speech difficulty, listens for slurred speech, and they cannot understand sometimes your speech. So at that time you should be very fast, fast as it is written here, okay, and you should run to the doctor immediately and prefer for acute stroke unit. You should go there. Now we will talk about the peripheral arterial diseases. These are known as the peripheral vascular disease also, and they occur when there is a blockage in the arteries. That means again there is a blood clot or there is blockage. You can see here yellow depositions inside the arteries. This is the lumen of the artery. Here you can see this is the lumen of the artery, and this lumen of the artery has yellow depositions, as you can see here. This is the yellow depositions, okay. These are the yellow depositions. So, and this causes blockage in the arteries. When there is blockage in the arteries, then our limbs, and there is a supply of blood into our limbs, or there is pain in our limbs, okay. And the most common symptom is found that pain in your legs while walking. Okay, so the pain can feel like cramp, a dull pain, or a sensation of heaviness in your leg muscle. It comes and goes and gets worse during exercise that uses your legs, such as walking or climbing stairs also. So that is peripheral arterial diseases, that is blockage in the arteries of our limbs. Then aortic disease. The aorta, which is a major blood vessel coming out of the heart, that is a major blood vessel which carries pure blood or oxygenated blood. It's the largest blood vessel in the body, and it carries blood from your heart to the rest of your body. So it's the most common aortic disease is aortic aneurysm, where the walls of the aorta becomes weak and bulge outwards. So we can feel pain in their chest, back and abdomen. Here you can see that bulging out some parts of the aorta, and there is lesions also, and there is inflammation also. Then arrhythmia. Arrhythmia is a disease in which the person is not able to, in which the electrical symbols of our heart are not properly felt. Okay, so sometimes at the heart electrical system may raise, means it may increase, it can become slow, and it is sometimes irregular. It skips some beats also, and it does not move in a proper sequence. So that disease, that abnormality is called arrhythmia. And we know that some SA node, okay, sinoarterial node is there, from where the electrical impulse starts, and it is propagated into the heart muscles so that they can contract and expand according to the electrical sinus. Okay, so when this is improper, then that condition is called arrhythmia. Then myocarditis, carditis, when our heart is infected by some disease like virus or some fungus. They come and infect the walls of the heart, okay, muscles of the heart. So that disease is called myocarditis. It's an inflammation of the heart muscle, usually caused by viral, fungal and bacterial infections affecting the heart. It is an uncommon disease, not so common, but it causes joint pains, leg swellings, fever that cannot be directly related to the heart. Okay, then cardiomyopathy. That is, the blood vessels, because of the inadequate pumping of the blood. Okay, so what happens? The inside the arteries and the ventricles, the arterioles and the ventricles, the walls of them become irregular. So what happens? It's a weakening of the heart muscles and the change in the structure of the heart muscles due to inadequate heart pumping. So what are the causes hypertension, that is we say high blood pressure, alcohol consumption, viral infections and genetic defects also. Then to know whether you are at risk or not, we must know that if the person is suffering from type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes, actually diabetes is of two types. One is when a person acquires it before the age of 40 and after the age of 40. The one which they acquire before the age of 40 is very much dangerous, and the one that they acquire after the age of 40, that is due to some you can say due to age factor. So that does not become so much dangerous for a person. Then hypertension, that is blood pressure, abnormal blood lipid levels, that means deposition of lipid or fats inside your blood, and the cholesterol level in the blood, tobacco consumption, physical inactivity when you are not so much doing physical work at that time, and obesity. These can be the reasons of heart diseases. Now we will talk about some of them, that non-modifiable risk factors. The family history of coronary heart disease, that means if a person is from it's a hereditary, if it becomes, the coronary heart disease becomes hereditary, then also we can't modify that the person has to suffer. Increasing age, gender of the person and race. Sometimes it happens that here it's written higher incidence of heart disease occur in Africans, Americans than in Caucasians. So these are the factors which are non-modifiable. Some modifiable factors are like we can reduce the cholesterol level inside our blood, we can stop smoking and use of tobacco, then hypertension can be controlled, diabetes can be controlled, then physical inactivity, that is we can do more physical work and control our overweight, and also lack of estrogen inside the women can be controlled, which can be modifiable. So then sometimes it is seen that this cardiovascular disease is found in children also. The evidence show that eating and drinking habits established during childhood can continue for many years into adulthood. 4 important things to consider are the amount of fat in your child's diet, salt in your child's diet, sugar in the child's diet, and exercise your child does. That means we should take care that our children are more active and they don't take fatty food, less sugar and less amount of salt, which is very important. Then this is what I wanted to say today on the occasion of Heart Day, that we should learn how to take care of our heart and how to save a heart, and it's a most vital organ of our body which helps us to live. Without the pumping of the heart and the beating of the heart, we are said to be dead. So keep the heart safe and keep it live so that we can live long. Thanks. Have a happy life. I would also like to add up here that after this video you will get a questionnaire inside the Google form which you have to answer and take part in the quiz competition, and that will help you to take part in the level 2 quiz competition. This video will help you. Okay.